Welcome, guys, to podcast number 51 of Our Ketogenic Life.
Hey, guys.
Today, we are going to talk about preparing for the holidays.
Yes.
They are coming. And we don't want to wait till the holidays start and then trying to make some changes.
Right.
You got a lot of stress going on, and we're going to talk about stress. But right now is a great time to start preparing for the holidays so that you can enjoy it.
Right. If you haven't already started,
right,
now's time to get going because, like you said, it's a stressful time.
Uh-huh.
And if you're not mentally prepared, physically prepared, emotionally prepared, all the preparations, it can get very stressful. And then you can turn to, definitely that's a time you can turn to bad habits.
Right.
And say, you know what, just forget it. I'm going to be eating. I don't know why we do that to ourselves. You know, you think, well, just forget it because I'm going to be eating Thanksgiving and Christmas meals. So you think, well, 2 meals, you're going to blow 3 months because you think, well, I'm going to eat bad.
Right, 2 meals.
Yeah.
Even if you go through some
Or
holiday
even,
parties.
yeah, exactly.
Overall. If you count how many meals you have between now and then, and
right.
if you can start preparing for that,
yeah,
you're going to be so much better off.
Right. And we're not going to tell you that you have to have cauliflower mashed potatoes and that you cannot have anything that you would want to have. So
or desserts, whatever it may
right,
be.
we're not going to tell you that.
So
but,
we're going to tell you to prepare for it.
Right.
That
so
way
that you can enjoy it.
You can enjoy it, and you don't have to sit there and regret and feel deprived about, not being able to partake in the festivities that you're surrounded with.
Yeah. So think now. Be thinking, you get yourself set to change your mindset right now. Don't be thinking that you're not going to be able to make it through. Think, yes, I am. And if you're feeling better physically, you're going to handle the stress so much better anyway. So start now. Okay.
And what we really want to talk about is, just some short-term goals.
Yeah.
And then hopefully you can turn these short-term goals into long-term goals, into long-term changes.
Right.
But don't think about what we're going to talk about you have to do for the rest of your life. But just a little hint, so many people make these changes and they feel so much better they continue with it.
Right. And we're talking to people who have been on keto for, years. We're talking about people who've been on keto for months, for people who haven't even started.
Are new to our podcast.
New to it, just thinking about getting started. I know that there's people who are saying right now, because I've already heard it, there's no point in starting now. I'll just wait till January. That doesn't even make sense.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, that literally, that does not make sense. I'm sorry.
That's like saying, if you're in April and you got a birthday in May, well, there's no reason to start in.
Right, exactly. There's always going to be something.
I have a birthday here in a month or two.
Yes.
So, you can
It's like, there's no point in cleaning the kitchen. We're just going to eat again and mess it up. Yeah. I mean, lots of people. Or there's no point in washing clothes. They're just going to dirty them up. Yeah. I mean, we've got to change our mindset, people. Yes. So, number 1 way to start preparing for the holidays.
Just start walking.
Yes.
Just get used to moving. If you're walking and you want to do a little bit more exercise, you'll start lifting some weights.
Yeah.
But if you're sedentary and you're not really doing anything, just get in the habit of taking a walk.
Right. Maybe get a small little pedometer, or most people, their iPhone, you can download a pedometer app, track your steps, or people have Apple Watches, Fitbits. I know I really am addicted to my Fitbit probably, and this one, my other one tore up, and so I got this one specifically because me and the girls were going to Walt Disney World a few weeks ago, and so I wanted to make sure I, really was upping, because you can get in easily 20,000 steps, and so I wanted to, and I left it charging. Well, not even, I charged it and I left it in the.
You forgot the charger.
Yeah, I forgot I took the charger.
Oh, you
but I forgot the Fitbit.
Oh, yeah.
I left it on your vanity.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So I was so aggravated, but that's okay because I still walked. I just didn't know how much. But start moving. You will realize if you have a Fitbit or something to put on a pedometer that tells you, you've only got in 4,000 steps. It's hard sometimes to realize you think you're moving all the time. But if you track it, you may not move quite as much as you think you do.
Yeah, I think I'm busy.
Yeah, and you think, well, I never sit down.
But I walk from room to room and sit down.
Right.
Walk to another room, sit down.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I want to encourage that they didn't have, I got an app on my phone. It's a wristband, and it's called a Whoop. It's WHOOP, and it tells me my strain. It tells me how hard I work out. So I do a little bit different than what Danae does. She walks, and she works out as well. But I do a lot of just working out with weights and things, and it checks your heart rate and your breathing, and it gives you a number as far as the strain, and it helps keep me accountable as like how hard am I working out.
But we're just saying, we know we went off on a tangent there. Just start moving.
Just move. Yeah.
And try your best to track it, because you will be surprised how little you walk if you're not purposely trying to get it in.
And some people do good with accountability partner.
Yes, I do.
So
yeah,
I do it on my own.
Yeah.
Renee has an accountability partner.
Yeah.
Either way is fine. But if you don't have that, and you need somebody to help motivate you, or if you just like having somebody to talk to, that's fine too.
Because like if I can't walk, like we usually walk at 7 in the morning, and if I can't, like I feel bad, and she's the same way. Like we feel bad, like if we can't walk, like if for some reason we have to go somewhere, or we're not feeling well, or whatever happens. And it's been very rare that we've done that. But if we've had to, I do feel bad. So that helps, because then somebody is really expecting you to walk with them. So anyway, all right. So number 1 is just start moving, get to walking. 2.
We want to start planning when we're eating. Obviously, you want to eat every day unless you're doing extended fast like we do sometimes. But right now, more than likely, you're going to eat whatever that Thursday is in November, the last Thursday. You're going to have, Thanksgiving dinner.
You got roughly a month.
Right. So you know that dinner. You know you're probably going to have maybe a Christmas dinner with family. Maybe there's going to be, like at work.
Like Christmas
there's
dinner
going to be
at work.
A dinner. You know that, there may be a Thanksgiving dinner at work.
Yeah.
So if you know these things are coming up, put them on your calendar, and the times before and the times after, really watch what you're eating.
Yeah.
Don't go there starving. We did a podcast last year on what to do during the holidays. Today we're talking about before the holidays. Yeah. And there's some tips you can go there. Maybe we can revisit that later. But if you know these meals are coming, and you know that when they're going to be there, then if it's if you're going to have a dinner on a Tuesday, a family dinner for some reason, before Thanksgiving or whatever it may be, or at work, then that may be on that Sunday and Monday. Really watch what you eat.
Right.
And
or
then,
even just starting now, though.
Yeah.
Watching what you're eating, because it's amazing in a month what you can accomplish and how good you can feel. Probably lose quite a bit of weight. If you haven't started keto, you could lose quite a bit of weight and feeling even more fat adapted by then. If you have been doing keto, ramp it up a little bit, and we're going to give you some ways to do that. But really be thinking, don't wait.
Right.
Start now, realizing how you're going to deal with those meals coming up. Okay?
Number 3, reward yourself with some small gifts along the way. And what I mean by that is, it's going to be the holiday sales season, so things are going to be a little bit cheaper. A lot of times we want to wait between now and, say, Christmas, and we want to, fit in a new pair of pants or something like that. So if we don't wait till 2 months from now, 3 months from now, and reward ourselves, but we give ourselves little gifts along the way. Like if you go a week and let's say your goal is to lose, 3 pounds, and you lost that 3 pounds, I'm not saying reward yourself with some food. I'm talking about...
Don't reward yourself with ice cream, because you're just going to blow it.
Reward yourself with some small gift.
A book, going, somewhere with your spouse, go for, like a little getaway. But
you can do just something small that you normally wouldn't buy for yourself.
Right.
Like maybe you want a little piece of jewelry.
Right. Or a candle.
Or something like that. That you have these little goals that you kind of want to meet, and when you meet those goals, hey, just take some time to reflect on and think, I'm doing good right now.
Right.
And if you don't do it, then set that goal for the next week.
Right.
And that's going to keep you kind of motivated in short little spurts, instead of trying to wait all to Christmas to buy some new outfits.
Right.
Now, you can also buy yourself, that can be a goal as well too. It's Christmas time. is between now and then, you could lose a significant amount of weight.
Yeah, you could go down at least 1 or 2
and you could have to buy
sizes.
some new wardrobes.
Yeah.
And then maybe after Christmas, when the sales goes on,
Right.
there you go.
Right.
So that could be a goal as well. But reward yourself now. Don't just wait for those long-term things. Do the short-term things, and then you'll get to where you want to go.
Right. And 4.
Start a new tradition. And what we mean by that is like what we talked about before, walking. Instead of your family sitting around eating dinner on Thanksgiving, and you're going to sit and watch football games or whatever it may be, the parades or whatever it is your family likes. Instead of doing that, go outside and do something.
Go out, throw the football, play football.
Yeah, go for a hike.
Yeah.
One thing that we do is the guys usually here, if we have them all here on Thanksgiving morning, we go work out. We
While
get
the
up.
women slave and cook away.
I still peel the
He
potatoes.
does. He and Zachary peel the potatoes
Yeah.
every year. I leave it for him
Yeah.
since I know they love it.
Oh yeah.
But we do potatoes.
We do because that's what our kids like. So that's
And that's
There's only a
like
few times
literally
we do.
2 to 3 times a year is the only time that I make potatoes.
Right.
And so
But we work out.
Yeah.
And we enjoy that because one, it gives us time as guys just to kind of get together and enjoy each other's company. And instead of like some people will play golf or something like that, we work out. And it's just a family tradition that we do.
and then after dinner we all go to the movies.
Yes.
So instead of just sitting around eating leftovers, we load up.
Yeah.
The kids get their jammies on, and this year I don't even know I guess we're gonna be able to do movies.
I haven't thought
I don't
about
even know
that.
I know. I guess we need to find it out. Okay. Anyway, so start some new traditions, and like you said, everybody you could make it that morning, like you said, working out together, or the morning after Thanksgiving. So okay, 5.
Lessen the stress. Today talked about this a little bit just a minute ago. There's so much stress with the holidays. There's stress just from the expectations. There's stress from having to think you have to buy the perfect gift for somebody. There's stress in families.
Yeah.
This is a time when families get together, and sometimes it's
Maybe
it's
dreading
stressful.
getting together
Yeah.
with each other. Yeah.
So what we have to do is, if you know the biology and you're stressed out, you automatically, when Danae talked about earlier, it reminded me when we got to this point, is when you're stressed out, usually your decisions aren't the best. They're not the most sound, and you're going to make some decisions that's not good. So you can make a decision now that if it's gifts, that it's not going to be one of those things. If someone doesn't get exactly the perfect gift, that's okay.
Right.
If families come in and there's going to be stress there, realize there's going to be stress, and just maybe talk before they come. Trying to soften that, or sometimes with family, you can't control other people, but you can control yourself.
Yeah.
And when Danae talked about mindset, you have the ability to go into that time and have a different outlook on it. And, those are the kind of things you want to think about. But if you can do that, and because sometimes I know people worry even a week before, the holidays come,
Well,
or Christmas comes, or whatever. So just realize, talk with your family, even about the gifts and things like that. Just enjoy each other.
Right. Most of the time, if you think back now and think, very few times, you can't really think back last year even and think, the gifts that someone got, or if they didn't get something, but you remember just being together.
Sure.
And like I said, talking and laughing and just spending time with each other. That's really, and of course you want, as parents, you want the whole family to really get everything that they want, and have all the food and all the things that they want. And let's face it, the older your kids get, and then if they marry and have kids, and then you've got still your parents and maybe aunts and uncles, and everybody's coming together, meals can be expensive. Food can be expensive. Start now trying to budget and prepare. This may be our throwing in our finances here, but try to start, thinking, okay, what is it that really do I need to make? Because a lot of times, a lot of the food, you might make one thing that one person really, really loves. That's fine, but you don't need to make enough of that for 20 people.
Right.
It may just be really, okay, that really person's the only one, so make some for that person and a little bit more. But you don't need it for 20 people if you're going to be throwing most of it away. Or, because I sometimes have that problem. Like I think, well,
yes,
because I've got, I just would rather have, I'd rather too much than not enough.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people probably feel like that. But I don't have to have too much of certain things, like that's dairy free, that my daughter and I might would eat or something. So anyway,
and
just start preparing
the thing
now.
that kind of just reminded me before we wrap this up is, the things that you go through is the same things that we go through.
Yeah.
It's not like we got it all figured out. We do everything perfect. All these things right here, some of them we've already done, and some of them we need to work on doing better. So what we want to encourage you guys is, we're walking along with you, and we just have these ideas because we think about this stuff a lot. And but we want you to know that we have to do this as well.
Yep.
It's not automatic. It does get easier. Like, for us exercising before Thanksgiving meal, it's just not automatic. That's just what we do. But when you talked about like spending time together, even though I don't really eat the potatoes very much, standing at the sink with your son and your son-in-law and peeling potatoes and talking, I remember that more than I do eating the potatoes.
Right. And them complaining that they're doing it, which they don't really. Because then Zachary, our son, and Justin, they'll say, if I have we just had something a few weeks ago and everybody got to come in. I think they were just all in at the same time, so that's rare too. And I did make potatoes because it's for Zachary's birthday.
Yeah.
And so he wanted some meat and potatoes, so I made potatoes. And then, because he said, I would have helped you make the potatoes. So, but of course I had to already have them ready. But I think they missed doing things like that. And Carson cut her finger, and you had to go stitch her finger.
That was last
That's also, memories of...
Yeah. Again, I remember that more than I do anything else.
Right. Yeah, and so it's really getting together and loving each other and not being stressed and not,
it's not
worrying.
perfect.
It's not. Don't try for it to be perfect because it's not going to be.
Right.
But do it the way you want to do it and the way your family. And don't feel guilty if somebody else doesn't do it that way.
Right.
Don't you guys decide as a family, even if your kids are really small, if you like having real plates and real glasses and real napkins, I do like doing that, but I like doing it.
And that's okay.
But there's some people who are like, I don't want to fool with the mess of cleaning up and all that stuff. And then when they're little, the kids break things, and
that's okay.
Things can be broke, things can be replaced.
Either way is fine.
Right. So anyway,
hopefully that helps, guys.
Yes.
So one thing that we're going to try to do is develop a challenge for you guys.
Right.
So putting that challenge out,
like next week.
Yeah. So we want to put this challenge out so that you guys can get started, and we can go through this as a community. It'll be in our Fat Burners Academy, and that you'll have people there to support you. And there may be some great ideas within the community, because we have a lot of people who talk back and forth in the community and on our Facebook pages as far as giving ideas and encouraging one another. So, you can look us up. It's called fatburnersacademy.com, and you can get the link below and get started, so that when Christmas and New Year's rolls around, you've already started. You don't have to wait. You can do that right now and do your best to prepare for the upcoming holidays.
Yep.
All right, our verse of the day.
Let me see. Let me pull it over here. Matthew
44.
Therefore, you also be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect.
So, we're talking about getting prepared for Jesus to come back. And it's a great time to talk about this at Christmas time. A lot of people are thinking about this and upcoming. So, Jesus is coming. Just like we know, Christmas is coming. And we have to be prepared for it. The thing with Christmas is we know when it's coming, We don't know when Jesus is coming.
No, it could be before Christmas. It could be.
We could not even have to worry about this because his second coming may be here before that, and because at any day, there's nothing that's holding him back as far as the prophecies in Scripture that is has to be fulfilled before he comes back.
Right.
So we are just here and wanting to encourage you, be prepared. More than the holidays, more than your diet, more than stress. Be prepared to meet Jesus Christ because we know he's coming. There are so many things in the Bible that just has come true that, if you're not a believer, just read Scripture and read the prophecies and see what has happened. And if you can look back and see what has happened and the prophecies fulfilled, and then that may help not convince you because only the Holy Spirit can draw to you, but in your mind, if you're more analytical, it may get to the point where you just say, the Bible is true. Everything in it is true. There's nothing false in it. Otherwise, we wouldn't need the Bible. But we just encourage you this time, be prepared for his second coming because it is coming and we just don't know when.
Yep.
All right. So that wraps up this podcast. Hopefully you guys are going to take some of this into consideration, put all or any of it into practice, and we will get that out as far as a challenge. We look forward to you guys doing that with us, and we'll be right there with you doing the same thing. And just remember, be fit and be faithful, guys.